Hello and welcome to this week's GCSE Media Studies online session. So this will be the third week that we're looking at the close study product of the Galaxy advertisement. Now today we're going to be looking at media language. So if you see that section there, by the end of the session I want you to be able to describe the narrative structure of the Galaxy advert using props theory. And I want you to be able to describe the narrative structure of the advert using Todorov's theory. So if we have a look today, the narrative structure, narrative meaning storyline or plot, and the structure, the way that it's ordered. So we're going to look at the order of the storyline, the plot, and Todorov's narrative theory. So basically, Todorov studied classic fairy tales and stories. And what he did is he theorized that many stories follow the same plot, the same structure, and they involve transformation of the character or the story. So if we start off with number one, what they say is in the plot, there is a state of equilibrium, right? So there's balance and there's calm in the storyline. Then, number two, an event happens that disrupts the equilibrium, the calm. So something disrupts that. Number three, there's a recognition that this disruption has occurred, that something negative has happened. Then number four, there's an attempt to repair the damage of this disruption. And then number five, a new equilibrium, a calm has returned. It's returned to its old state and the order is restored. So that is Todorov's narrative theory. He thinks the storyline looks like that in those 5 stages. So what I would like you to do in your exercise books, I want you to write down what is Todorov's narrative theory. Then I want you to describe each stage of Todorov's narrative theory. So get this information down so that you can use it for revision. Now for each stage, I want you to think of a film, a book, or a TV series that you've enjoyed, and I want you to think about that. And for each stage, I want you to write down an example of what happens at the beginning when there's calm, then something that disrupts the calm, a recognition that the disruption has occurred, an attempt to repair it, and then it's back to normal and order is restored. Once you've done that second task, the final task is for you to watch the Galaxy advert again, which you'll do so in a minute or so. And for each stage, I want you to link Todorov to the Galaxy advert. So we're going to look and see if this is useful to do this, to see if the Galaxy advert follows Todorov's narrative theory. So we'll start off with the first part. Part 1, equilibrium. So this is where it's nice and calm and the bus is travelling through the Italian village. We've then got the disruption. The fruit stall stops the bus and disrupts the journey. Now, what part is the recognition that the disruption has occurred? So what happens next in the advert? Then how do we repair? How is the damage repaired? And then finally, how is the order restored? So you write down 5 different points from the Galaxy advert. So just after this part here, you are now going to watch the link to the advert.
Wherever you're going,
Okay, so let's move on to the next part of this session. Now we're going to look at Vladimir Propp. Now, this was Propp's narrative theory. Vladimir Propp stated that there were 7 basic character functions when he analysed 100 fairy tales, and that these were present in many media products. So, when analysing Shrek, let's see if he's right. So, for a start, there is always a hero. So, Shrek is the hero who has his quest or mission throughout. He's the hero. Then we have the villain. So, Lord Farquaad is the villain in Shrek, and he is the villain that tries to stop the hero. Then we have the princess, Princess Fiona. So she is rescued and she falls in love with the hero, Shrek, and she has a prize for the hero. Then there's the donor. The donor often gives the hero a special power to complete the quest. So in Shrek, the Muffin Man is the donor and he helps Shrek. Then we have the princess's father. So he's often an authority figure who offers a reward to the hero. We've got the helper. The helper is the character who helps the hero achieve his or her quest. In Shrek, it's the donkey. And then finally, we've got the false hero. So the false hero tries to take the credit for the hero's actions and get the princess. Prince Charming fulfills this role in Shrek. So this is what I'd like you to do now. In your books and in your own words, I want you to describe what Propp's narrative theory is. Then I'd like you to describe each character type in Propp's theory. Could you think of another program, another film, or a book that follows this series of 7 basic characters? If you think back in Doctor Who when we were studying that, and also in the TV series, the sci-fi series Class, we also looked at Propp's narrative theory then. Then finally, I want you to think back to the Galaxy advert and think, does Propp work with the Galaxy advert? Which character types do you recognise and which ones do you not? So in your exercise book, you could write down, right, who is the hero? Is there a villain? Who is the princess? Is there a donor? Who's the princess's father? Who is the helper? And who is the false hero? So I'd like you to look at that, please. And once you've done that, this week's session on media language and Propp and Todorov's theories are completed. Thank you very much.